For number 5, I decided to go with Asterix. Let's just have a look at the cover here, if it'll actually work. There we go. Reading the back of the cover, Getafix the druid, whose magic potion has kept his village from falling into Caesar's hands, has been kidnapped. Join Asterix and Obelix as they try to rescue the druid and save the village. I don't know the comics too well, so I can't. Well, I don't know the comics at all, so I can't comment on the characters or anything like that. So, that being said, let's have a look at the gameplay and talk about the game. Asterix is one of those games that has great animation, great substance, great humour, and plenty of replayability, but such a weak story, it's almost laughable, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that was intentional. The game doesn't take itself too seriously at all, and that's not a bad thing. Again, I don't know the Asterix comics, so I don't know anything about the personalities, but they do seem to get themselves lost and into zany situations pretty regularly. The levels themselves are split up between Asterix and Obelix and are usually designed around their strengths. The ones that aren't will typically have split parts designed for either character, which makes replay value quite high. Every few levels or so there will be a bonus stage with dogmatics, where the goal is to burst as many bubbles as possible for points. There is a lot more to say about this game, but I will save that for another time. For now, I will leave you with some more gameplay footage and music before we get on to number 4. For number 4, I decided to go with Dragon Crystal. So let's get a good look at that. Trying to get rid of the glare there. Pretty detailed cover. I actually wouldn't mind putting that up on the wall next to Death back there. But reading the back of the cover, you're caught in a fantastic world of unearthly beauty and deadly demons. You'll pass through 30 worlds in search of the magic goblet. There's no way out of this musical nightmare until you find it. Let's have a look at the gameplay. Dragon Crystal is a roguelike RPG adventure with randomly generated levels. You're dropped into a field with items all around you, and until you pick them up and use them, you won't know what they are or what they do. The only exceptions to this rule are items that you've already used, weapons, and armor. On top of being dropped into a random level, there's also a fog of war. So if you can't see around a corner, you can't see the enemies there, and that can get you in a pretty tight spot pretty quickly. While you may be able to see what kinds of armor and weaponry you pick up, when you enter the inventory screen, there is a chance that the equipment you pick up may be cursed. If they are, they will do things like lower your strength, make you hungry, which will cause you to run out of food very quickly and starve to death, or make you warp around randomly. Most of the items you pick up are beneficial and can get you out of tight spots. There are many items detrimental to your success, such as summoning rods, which will summon an enemy, travel rods that'll make you skip to the next level, which isn't good because the further you go into the game, the more experience you need to actually be able to handle what's coming, and so many others. Again, this is a game that I would like to cover in greater detail another day, so I will leave you with some more gameplay footage and some music before we get on to number 3. Number 3, I decided to go with Ghouls and Ghosts. It's a bit hard because the window's right there, so... if you played Ghosts and Goblins, this is the sequel. So it wasn't released on the NES, so reading the back of the cover. The wicked and evasive Loki has once again pillaged the beautiful, peaceful kingdom of Lexit. and plagued the people with paralyzing fear. You as Sir Arthur must avenge your village and rescue the breathtaking beauty Princess Tamara. So don your armor, pick your weapon, and exterminate Loki and his loathsome creatures. Let's have a look at the gameplay, and I will talk about the differences between this port and the others. Like Shadow of the Beast, Ghouls and Ghosts pretty much came out on everything that could handle it at the time, and some of the ports were better than others. This port is one of the better ones in my opinion because, like Shadow of the Beast, I think the programmers realised they wouldn't be able to produce a quality game without reworking some of the mechanics. This included fixing it so weapons could be chosen out of a door and a chest and could only be upgraded by creating an inventory screen on the pause screen to be able to switch between the magic spells, which are no longer provided by the weapons but rather differently coloured helmets. The biggest difference between this and the other ports that I'm aware of is that armor will actually protect you for a little while. The first set of armor you get will fly off after being hit once and leave you running around in your boxes, while the second will let you get hit twice, the third 3 times, and so on and so forth. On top of the armor and helmets, there are differently coloured shoes which will help you run faster, jump longer, and will also mess around with your friction, so you have momentum now. The bosses also work differently, as they can only be encountered in doors hidden in chests at the end of the level and be fought against in a black background, with the exception of Loki. I can only surmise that the reasons for these changes are because of the limitations of the hardware, because this is a very long game and you do have to go through it twice. One of the better ports, I do suggest giving it a look. Before I get on to number 2, I will leave you with some more gameplay and music. Number 2, Prince of Persia. It looks like a really bad cover for a equally bad romance novel. So the game, though, pretty solid gameplay. Great gameplay, great graphics. Just read the back of the cover and then we'll have a look. Taken from hundreds of movie clips and animated sequences, so uncanny human, and taken from hundreds of movie clips and the animated sequences, so uncannily human, you'll be addicted in seconds. Your sword fighting skills will be tested in full in this amazing puzzle-solving challenge. A multitude of secret passages, fantastic rooms, violent opponents, and magic potions await you. A bit to foil the Grand Vizier Jafar. It says Jafar here. And rescue the beautiful princess to become the Prince of Persia. Let's have a look at the gameplay. Prince of Persia is an adventure puzzle platform game that was originally released on the Apple II, and since then it's been ported to nearly every console that could handle it and has been remade, rebooted, and spun off many times. Today we're looking at the Master System port, and it's definitely one of the better looking ones. The animation is fluid, the sound is fitting, and the difficulty is well balanced despite a very steep learning curve. I often use the term Prince of Persia-esque when I'm talking about other platform games that require precise timing and reflexes when making jumps. Once you get past the difficulty curve, it's always interesting to throw this one in and see what else you can discover while trying to finish the game within its 1 hour time limit. There isn't a whole lot more to say at this time, and there isn't a whole lot of music, so I'll leave you with some more gameplay footage, and then we'll get on to number 1. This is a last minute addition, but before we get to number 1, here are a few honourable mentions. And now number 1. You ready? Wonder Boy 3: The Dragon's Trap. So much to say about this game. Let's read back and then get into it. Wonder Boy has been cursed. He critically wounds the ugly beast, but its final breath turns Wonder Boy into a lizard man. The young fighter must now seek out the Salamander Cross, the only force that will restore him to his normal self, but first he must find it. Let's have a look at the gameplay. Wonder Boy 3 is simply an adventure, and a bloody tough one at that. It was released over numerous consoles and is available now on the Virtual Console on the Wii. After the first Wonder Boy was released, there was a bit of a legal issue between the developers and Sega, because the developers had the rights to the game, but Sega owned the rights to the characters, so the developers teamed up with Hudson Soft and went on to produce the Adventure Island series on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Because of this, Sega decided to turn Wonder Boy into an adventure platformer, which resulted in Wonder Boy in Monsterland. Sadly, I do not own this game, so I cannot show you any footage from it. However, this is still relevant because Wonder Boy 3: The Dragon's Trap begins where Monsterland ends. You begin in the Mecha Dragon's castle, which is the final level of Monsterland, and you must fight your way through into its lair. Upon defeating it, you are turned into a dragon yourself, and your goal is to go through defeating all the other dragons in the land, looking for a way to turn back to your human form. But in doing so, you are changed into other forms, and he just makes a complete mess for himself until he gets to the final dragon. There are heavy RPG elements in this title, in the sense of needing to equip certain things in particular situations, and plenty of secrets and bonuses to find. I'll wrap this up before it gets too long, because again, I will touch on this another day. For now, here's some more game footage and music. And that was my top 10 Sega Master System games. If you made it all the way through, thanks for watching. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna look at doing my top 10 least favorite Master System games after this, I reckon. I just gotta draw up that list. Things to say. But should be good. Alright, thanks.